Hello, hello. Well, hi everyone. Welcome to another webinar, and I'm so excited to have you all. Welcome again, and I'm Noosh Baratpour, the co-founder and CMO of Formaloo, and we're thrilled to have you join us in this exciting webinar on automating and elevating your data workflow. We want to discuss different scenarios and use cases for your data workflow and how you can automate it, how you can make it work for you, and what Formaloo can do for you, and how you can leverage Formaloo features to the best to automate your workflow, streamline your processes, and make the most out of your Formaloo workspace. So I'd like to join Anano from our team to join me on stage and start it.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for introduction. Thank you for joining the webinar. I hope you're going to find it very useful, very inspiring. I'm Anna Nohibradze, and I'm a customer success manager at Formaloo, and I'll be introducing the features for today's webinar.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. So I want to share my screen to initiate the presentation we've made for you. So let's go over the agenda. So today we're going to talk about the dynamic data collection and organization, how you can use different features like answer piping, logical branches, interform data transfer, and like sending data to a redirect URL, whether it's another form or your website, using URL parameters to personalize your form or send data to another website, and using the lookup field and linked rows to create connected bases and making your workflow streamlined. We'll also talk about customized email notifications, how you can send out custom note emails to your audience, and how conditional emails work in Formaloo. You can send different emails based on the responses your audience have given you. So you can do that too. We will show you. Next, we will go to a use case and we will put it all together. We show it in a real life scenario and how you can work with all of these features in one place to build up and streamline your workflow and data processes. Then we will go on to a Q&A session to answer your questions. So everyone, please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. We'd love to answer your questions and help you succeed at the most we can. Right, so I'd like to stop sharing and give the stage to Anana to get started.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so guys, I will walk you through pretty much every feature that you can use that Noosh already listed. So let's get started with my dashboard. So this is where you would start. This is our dashboard, and let's create a new project. And let's make it a dashboard and call it test. So this is pretty much where you organize your project, right? To edit our dashboard, we need to enable the edit mode, and I will just delete everything because I like to start from scratch. And after you enable the edit mode, you'll be able to insert different data blocks right here, and also customize this left sidebar. From you can add new pages and new menus. It's very helpful when you have to organize different data, and yeah, when you want to show everything clearly. So first thing that I will start off with is adding a form to our dashboard. So we can do it in two ways. You can either type the dash, and it's like a shortcut. It's going to display all the different data blocks that you can put here, or like different options for the text that you want to write here, because this place here is super, you can be creative. You can not only insert the different data blocks, but you can also write headlines, for example, headline, and then also change the headings of it as well, so you can play around. But let's talk about the insert options and different data blocks that you can have. So these are the ones that you can have it here. So first one is the form, which is the obvious. From this is where you get responses, this is where you get the base and the data from. And then table, Kanban, chart, gallery, and content, these are how you display your data. So according to your use case and according to your preference, you can display them in many different ways. So one base can be displayed differently. And then the analyze is our AI feature. So you can use it to really make the judgment and the analysis super fast for you. Let's add a form. Once you click on the form, here you can either see the already bases that you have in your Formaloo, or you can create a new form from where you will create a new base. So let's do it. Let's create a new form, and it's going to take us to the form editor. This is where you edit your form. This is where you decide how your form behaves. These are the settings, design, notification, share options. Pretty much everything takes place here. I will briefly show you the different field types and how you can organize your form. However, I deeply encourage you to go and watch me and Noosh's previous webinar. This is where we covered different field types fully, so you can get more data and more insight, more information about it from there. But I will briefly go through different field types that we can have with Formaloo. So as you can see, we have this plus icon. You can either click on add new field, or you can just click on the plus icon, and from here you will have all these different field options. For example, single choice, we have CSAT field as well, date and time, file uploads, embedding field, signature field, hidden field, lookup and linked rows, which I will cover in this webinar, email verification, custom validation. You get the point. We have many different field types. And one biggest takeaway that you could have gotten, or maybe you were there on our webinar, is that you have to use appropriate fields for the information you want to get. For example, if you're asking for something that requires having numbers, it's highly recommended to use the number field for it and not the text field, for example. So that is one big takeaway from our previous webinar, and you can go and watch more there. But one thing I want to share more about the field types is that with every field type that you insert in your form, you're going to have options on the right side. For example, this one that came with the template is the text field, and people usually use it to ask for the name, for example. And from right side, you can decide whether it's a required field, whether it can be admin only, meaning that users won't be able to see this field, or whether it's a unique field, meaning that all the answers need to be unique. And then you can also define the maximum allowed characters, default value, acceptable answers, and the ID. So I'm going to get to the first feature that Noosh listed, which is answer piping. And answer piping has many different ways to be used. But one of the ways is, I will show you an example. I think this is going to be the best one now. Let's keep it what's your name. What answer piping does is that it transfers your answer to one field to another one and displays it and shows it there. For example, if you want to personalize your form, and if your first question is what's your name, we need to add the ID of this field, which would be name, for example. And if we want the next fields to be hey, name, so if we want the name to be written here, and then a question, for example. And then we can have option 1 and option 2. And I will show you how this works. Let's make it a one question at a time form, kind of like a survey. So if we type in, I don't know, for example, it is going to be answer piped here. So it's allows for personalization. But answer piping has different functions as well. For example, displaying price and score on your form. So yeah, it's a very, very useful feature. So, okay, we have personalized our form. How about we want to make it even more personalized and depending on the person's answer? For that, we use logic. Logic definitely describes and shows how your form behaves. Let's imagine we have a form where I'm just going to delete this field and I will start off fresh. Or we can just have this. For example, I'm asking users, do you have follow-up questions? And we would have yes and no answer, right? And then we would have additional long text field. Please write them here, where the users would answer and write their questions. But we don't want this field to be displayed to everyone and to people who don't have any questions. So if our form is classical form, our logic will look following way. You can set the logic even from here, or I always prefer to go to advanced logic since it gives me more insight. So for example, do you have follow-up questions? I would set a rule for these questions that if the answer is yes, then show, please write them here, this field. Otherwise, it would hide, please write them here, this question. My logic is set up. Let's go back. Let's view the form. This is what the form would look like. So do you have follow-up questions? If you don't have it, then you would just click on no and submit the form. However, if you do, then you click on yes, and then this field appears. This is just a simple example of how you can use show hide logic. But what happens when your form is not? What happens when it's not one question at a time, when it's a one question at a time form? And usually this kind of logic is used for personality quizzes, let's say, for example. So I can create a random scenario for you. So we can have two questions, and I will tell you how to display the different personality types and how to get users to the correct answers. For example, they're asking, which do you prefer for a snack? And we would have apple, and let's have chips. And our next question to determine the personality type would be, what's your favorite breakfast item? Let's say like this. We would have, for example, eggs and bacon. Let's have two different options. Two more things are needed for the personality quiz to work. We would need to have variable fields. I will explain why we would need them, but now I will add the variable fields. And on the variable fields, I would write my personality types. For example, personality type 1. And I would just duplicate this field, not delete, I would duplicate this field to make it faster. I would have personality type number 2. And I will delete this field because we don't need this for this. So just have in mind, we have two single choice fields. We have two variable fields. Now we want users to see their results, right? So we would have to customize and have two ending pages. If you have, for example, 5 personality types, you would have 5 different ending pages. But let's have 2 because we have 2 personality types. You can write something like, congratulations, you're type 1. And then I misspelled congratulations. And then I would title the ending page to make my life easier and to make setting up logic a lot easier. So I would say type 1 for the personality type. I would add a new ending page where the message would be, congratulations, you're a type 2. And then same. I would name this ending page, and the title would be type 2. So we have 3 things. We have single choice fields, we have 2 variable fields, and we have 2 ending pages. Now let's go and set up logic and how we would do it. We have previous logic, which we will delete because we don't need it for this one. So here we go, let's set up the logic. We have to add the rules. So if which one do you prefer for snack is, let's say, one moment. Let's refresh. Is option, do we have, sorry, I didn't change this. Apple and chips. Let me I did not save. We have to save it. Let's view to be sure. Yes, exactly. Now we go to the logic tab. So if you prefer and the option is Apple, then we would add a certain type of number to our variable field. So we would add, let's say, 5 points to personality type 1. And we would have to add another rule, meaning that if a person selects chips, then their numbers would go to our personality type number 2. And we have to set up the following same rules on the next field as well. For example, what's your breakfast item is X, then add 5 points to the personality type number 1. And then if the answer is bacon, then add 5 to personality type number 2. So we have set it up. So this is just for us that we know that the points are going to go to the variable fields, but we now want to display these variable fields in the end. Now this is where on submitting the form conditions come in, and this is the addition to the Formula 3.0. It makes your life a lot easier because we've added fields like defining which value is the greatest should be displayed. So you don't have to worry about calculating and comparing the numbers to each other. You can just set that. If personality type number 1, which is the first variable field that we have, is the greatest, meaning that it has the most numbers, then after submit, the user would go to the type 1 ending page. And another rule would be that if the personality type number 2 is the greatest, the person after submitting would go to the ending page type 2. I will save the logic. I will show you how it looks. However, we will go back to this and also show you what else can be sent from on submitting the form. So let's go back to the form. Let's go to the view. And let's say apples and eggs, submit the form. Congratulations, you're a type 1. The same thing would happen with the same one. Of course, personality quizzes tend to be a lot more complex, but this is just showing you how you can use the logic. But now let's go back to the logic, and I will make a little preview of what I'll be discussing next. As you can see, we have, on submitting the form, we have different options that after submit, go to ending page, after submit, go to link. This is where you can direct your users anywhere. This is not specifically only for personality quiz, but also for different use cases. You can use it. And then we have send email. I'll be talking about this now, how sending email notifications and having conditional emailing, but this is from where you set up. So if the user gets a certain type of answer and you want to send them the email of this answer, this is from where you can describe, this is where you can make it happen. So you can select the template, which I will cover now, but I think it's better to go back and just show you how it's done rather than preview it. I will create, I think, a new form. I think it's going to be clearer for us. So let's imagine you have hosted some kind of event and you want to get the answers and feedback from your employees. You would ask a question like, let's make it a single choice field, not the text field. It's not ideal, definitely. Your question would be, how did you like the event? For example, say event feedback form for users that just joined us. We're talking about conditional emailing. So how did you like the event? And your answers are awesome, good. I'm using the bulk choices, which makes life a lot easier and makes the form creation a lot faster. Let's make fair and let's make poor. You click on insert choices and boom, your choices are here. So it just makes everything a lot easier. So how did you like the event? And then we have these 4 options. And I want that if the people answer awesome and good, I want them to send the thank you email. However, if they send a fair and poor, I want to send them the constructive feedback email, which would be talking about, thank you for your feedback. Would you like to tell us more about what you didn't like? What would you like to see improved? So I want to customize emails for these users, right? This is where email templates come in. This is from how we can do it. First of all, for the email templates and sending emails to submitters to work, we need to have email field in our form where users will enter their email, where it will be sent. So let's add the email field on which email would you like to be reached? Let's have a question like this. Then we would go to notify. This is from where we can send different email notification settings. When you click on send email to respondents, this is going to send email to them. However, if you'd like to be notified whenever the form is submitted, you can also allow receive email notifications. It's a very handy feature, and you can also customize the message that you're going to receive yourself, and your teammates will receive as well, because we have the option to also have your teammates updated right away, just as you are. But right now, let's focus on sending email templates to our users. As you can see, in email template, there is a default one. However, you can also add a new template. And let's do it. Let's add a new template. It is going to take us straight to the email template editor. This is from where we can customize our content. Here you can already see the default. We have form title, we have results table, and best regards. Form title, you can just leave it here. And if you're sending it to many people, for example, it is just gonna write the form title that you already have. So you don't have to do anything with this. But you can definitely remove results table if you don't want to share all the results with your submitters. And you can, if you want it to be, just let's delete everything. Hello, thank you for your feedback, and then so on. You would customize your message. But from the right side, these are the important settings that you have to set. You have to set the template name. Let's make it thank you email. And the email subject, you can also leave it here. It's going to have the form title by itself automatically. You don't have to do anything for this. And new response from field one value. Field one, if your field one is asking for the name, whatever the answer will be written here. If the field second is asking for something else, the value would be put here. This is usually helpful for the name and customization, but you can also skip this and just have thank you for your feedback, and just leave it like this. And then the from name would be from when, from who they're going to receive the email, and reply to email is going to be who they can reply to with this email. For example, you can send this thank you email from like a general email. However, if you're asking them for the feedback, you would assign someone else to write their email here. As for the email server, you can either use Formaloo or you can also use your SMTP settings. And yeah, I think we're going to have a webinar coming up about SMTPs as well, where we're going to go deeply into how you can set them up and how you can use them. But for now, this is from where you can save your template. And I will just write random emails just to show you how it works and how you can see it. We would save the template, and we would choose the thank you email to be sent to the email respondents. But I would add another template. Remember about the constructive feedback for people who rated fair or poor? For them, we would have a different type of email where content, I'm not gonna write content right now, but I will just, let's pretend this is constructive feedback email. Again, it can be thank you for your feedback. What can we do better? Well, this is not ideal for the email subject to be so long. However, you can decide for your case. And from name would be example, reply to would be example. And email server, let's choose Formaloo, and let's save this template as well. So on our workspace, we will have these two new templates, which we can adjust, we can delete anytime we want from the App Store. However, let's go back to the case that we have here, and let's set up when these templates would be sent. Let's go to the logic. Let's go to advanced logic. And we should set up rules for on submitting the form. So if how did you like the event is awesome, or if how did you like the event is good, then after submit, you would send the email, which was thank you email, to the on which email would you like to be reached. This is just the name of the name that we decided to write on the email field. It would be the email that they write, and we would add another rule. Same thing, but for the different, which would be fair, and let's make it how did you like the event is poor. Then we would send them constructive feedback email on this field that they provide email on. We would save this, and according to what they answered, they would get those email templates. So email templates is definitely very fun, something that you can play around with, something that you can customize messages, and to make the experience super personal, this is what you can do. And I would like to introduce our PDF now, that we have different PDF builders. For example, from here, you can also send the PDF of the submission. So when they receive the email, it will also have the PDF of their submission, but you can also download the answers as PDF file. For example, let's add a table field from where we will display the answers that we receive here. Let's submit an example answer. would see it in our table. And if we want to download the PDF of this answer, we would have to generate PDF, and then we would have to download it. And then this is what it will look like. So you can customize this PDF by customizing your form. So more functionalities are coming to make it more advanced with PDF customization, but for now, it's going to look the way your form looks like. So you can customize your form fully, and then your PDF is going to look like that. Yeah, let's continue. Let's show you one more cool thing that you can have, and that can be URL parameters and how you can use them to pre-fill some of the fields. Let's imagine we have a form, we're giving away the price, and we're asking people for the discount code. For example, we can keep what's your name. We can have another, let's write discount code. However, what I fear is that you're not able to see my search bar. I will proceed to showing you the example, and if I'm not able, if it's not visible on the stream, I will think of different way to tell you how it's done. But let's imagine we have a discount here, a discount code where people can enter and win some kind of prize. One important thing for the URL parameter to work is that we need to have ID. So it can be discount. Oh, we already have it. Amazing. Discount _ code. So the ID of this field would be discount code. I think you're not able to see, but so I will improvise. This is the URL.
I'll actually cover it in my section, so feel free to change it. And yeah, go.
I will say how it's gonna work, how it can work. So to pre-fill the discount code field, this is the URL, this is the share link of this form. What you would have to do is you would have to add a question mark. You would have to add the ID, which was the discount _ code, and you would have to make it equal to, I don't know, let's make it random. Let's make it autumn, since the autumn is coming. I'm gonna now load this link so you'll be able to see what it looks like. So this is the form. I would have discount _ code equals to autumn. This. And then I just pasted the same URL that I showed you. And then this is how it is gonna appear. So even if the code is, let's say, winter, so if you change the value is gonna change here as well. So this is just a preview and a simple example or how this feature can be used, but this is very useful, definitely. One more cool feature that we have is sharing and connecting your bases with each other. And that can be done with the lookup field and linked rows. I would like to come up with a scenario where you would use a, let's say linked fields, and then lookup field would be used there as well. For those fields to work, you would need to have two forms, basically two bases. You can already have them on your account, or I will create a very simple example right now just to show you how they can be used. So let's imagine that we have a project managing app dashboard. We would have one form about asking about the project management. We would have fields like project name, and let's say the supervisor's name. So this is a very simple form, which would be filled by, for example, we have project number 1, whose supervisor is Jake. We have project number 2, whose supervisor is Noosh. And now we would have additional form where we would list different tasks that the people are going to submit, are going to be part of the project, but we want to link these forms together. So I would create something like task manager. I would have task description. And if I also want to display all the information from that project managing form, I would use linked rows. So it would connect not only with one field from that form, but with different fields. So they could open it, they could preview all the fields and answers that were answered in the previous form. For example, I would have information about project. You have to select the base, and it has to be correct base, corresponding base. That would be project management. And once the base is selected, let's submit the form. Let's make task description, make it weird. And here we would have this add a row, and we can choose the project. This, as I told you, is a very simple form. However, you can have many fields and many different information which you want to be just linked and described here. So we can choose just project number 1. And once we submit the form and we go back and have a table for the tasks, not project management. We can have it on project management as well, but let's have it for task manager. And once you see here, it's project 1. Once we click on it, we're going to have all the information displayed here. As I told you, I have just 2 fields. This is why we're seeing 2 fields, but you can have as many fields as possible. And regarding the lookup field, you can have, with the lookup field, you can display information of one particular field from some kind of base. For example, if we want the name of the project supervisor to be displayed separately, we can do it with lookup field. It can be project supervisor's name. Again, we have to connect it to the correct base, and it would be project management, and we have to select the field, which value we want to be displayed here. And the field would be supervisor's name. Let's view. Let's have description number 2. Let's add a row, Noosh. And I want to also display Noosh here. You can click on Noosh. You can submit the form. And this is what it's going to look like on the table of the task management. As you can see, we have the project number 2, which is the linked rows, which we can open up and see all the fields. And we also have Noosh as the supervisor, from the lookup field. So this is just a very simple example of how these features can be used. And now Noosh is going to cover the different use cases where these features can be very helpful. So I'd like to give stage to Noosh. And if you have any questions, please ask them, because we're going to cover them after Noosh finished talking about use cases.
Definitely. Yeah, these features we've covered today are the backbone of powerful workflow automation. So I want to share my screen and show you how you can actually use them in your real workflow. So yeah, you see my screen now, and I share my screen for my whole page so you can see everything, and also the URL bar. And I want to show you this survey, and this is a feedback survey, and the use case is for a marketing agency, and I want to show you how you can customize it and make it even better. So it's asking for a score, NPS score, then asking what factors influenced your score, and it's piping the value of the NPS field, right? We have an ID for NPS and on this field, and when you mention the ID with an @ sign, as Anana showed, you can pipe the value of this field and show it here. Let's see it in real life. So I answer with 10. It says what factors influence your score of 10. And if I go back and answer with 5, it will be influence your score of 5. So it pipes the value of the field and shows it in my question. You can do a lot more with it, and you can do a lot more with answer piping, make it more personalized for the user, and how they can interact with you and make your form more interactive. Now let's say in this feedback form, I haven't asked for the for the name and email address of the user, but let's say I have it and I want to personalize it. So I will add a hidden field on my form. I'll call it name. Let's move it to the top, just in case, doesn't matter. Just for the case of this, I want to see it as the first item. And I set the ID as name. And I will add another field, another hidden field, and we'll call it company and set an ID of company. So this way, I have name and company. They're hidden on the form. You can show them, of course, but let's say I don't want to show them in this case. And I want to fill them, pre-fill them when the user opens it up. Let's view the form. So this is my form. I don't see the name and company here, but let's say I know who is receiving this URL. So I will say name equals Anano and @ and company equals Formaloo, right? So I will enter it. So I will share this URL with Anano, right? And if I'm sharing the URL with, let's say, James, I will replace it with James, and the company will be different, right? So you can customize the URL and send a custom URL to the user, to the client you have. So let's say I sent this URL to Anano. Sorry. And Anna opens the URL and starts filling out the form. Let's say she responds with 8 and goes on and answers here. Let's continue for the sake of I didn't make them required and submit the form. I just want to show you how it looks like in the responses. So if I go back to the responses, you see I have a new result with name Anano and the company name is Formaloo. And it's been pre-filled, although the user didn't see it. But this is how you can submit test data. You can submit hidden data along with your form. Maybe it's something about the channel you shared it to. Maybe you shared it to, you make a custom URL for Twitter, a custom URL for LinkedIn. And when people submit it, you know where they came from, whether they came from LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. So you can add a hidden field for channel, set the URL like channel equals LinkedIn, and share that URL on LinkedIn. So let's delete this response for now. And because it was a test response, I just wanted to show you how it looks. And the next thing I want to show you is how you can use these URL parameters to send the form data to another form. So let's say let's start with a random template. I say let's start with a contact us template. You can, of course, start from scratch, and I perfectly showed you how you can build something from scratch and leverage it, customize it however you want. So here I have my contact us form. Let's say I want to send the data of this contact us form to another form. I will build another form from scratch this time, so you see how it works. And then on this new form, maybe I'm asking for a satisfaction question. Let's delete this field. Let's ask how satisfied are you with our services, right? So this is just one question. You can add more questions if you want. And so I'm asking for the user satisfaction. But what we have in the contact us form is we're asking for the user's name and email address and their message. I want to capture the name and email address of the user and send it to the second form. and capture it in the second form so that when the user submits this, I have it and I can save it and see it in my responses, right? So I have one form to ask specific questions and another form to ask more detailed questions. So this is a great way for lead generation. If the user just submits the first form, you can contact them later. It's a short form, right? People just enter their full name and email address. Maybe you don't make this required and submit the form, but maybe they leave it and don't submit the second form, which might be a bit longer and detailed. So this way you have generated the lead and you have their contact information to follow up and send them email to ask for the feedback and etc. So to send the data of this form to this form, first let's edit this form, the first form, the contact us form, which is for lead generation, and maybe make this not required. And here I need to have an ID for each of these fields that I want to be sent to the next form. So each field you need to be sent to the next URL has to have an ID. So I will set the name, full name ID is name, and email address ID is email. So this is how we set an ID. And next thing you need to do is to send form data to redirect URL. So when you enable this, it automatically sends the form data to the redirect URL, which we will set here, and it won't send everything. It will send only the fields with ID. So I've only set full name and email address. I set an ID for full name and email address, not the message. So the message will not be sent. The full name and the email address will be sent. So to what URL? I need to go back and you can either view the form to get the URL or go edit it and find the URL. So I get the URL of the second form and go back to edit mode, and here I will set the redirect URL. Now that I have the redirect URL, the send form data will be saved. So I enable the send form data, and this is the redirect URL. So let's see how it actually works in action. I will submit the form. Let's say I am Noosh. I'm actually Noosh. So I submit it this way, and yeah, something like this. So I submit the form. So as you see, it redirected the form to the second form. And if you check the URL, we see that its name equals Noosh and email equals this. So this is the sign, URL sign for @sign. So we have received the email and the name, but this form doesn't know how to capture it, right? It's just sent here, but this page needs to capture it. You can have, this page could be your website, could be another form. If it's the website, you need a developer to develop it for you to capture this information from the URL. If on Formaloo, we have done it for you, so you don't need coding. Let's see how it works. So I'll go back and edit the second form because I'm already sending the form data to the second form, but now I need to capture it. So on the second form, I will add maybe a hidden field. You saw it in my previous example, right? So the hidden field can have any name, let's say full name. And the most important part is that the ID should be identical to the ID of the first forms field. So the ID was name, right? So I will set the exact same ID here. So this field will automatically capture the name ID, the value of the name ID, and saves it in the value of this field. I'll add another one for email. The title doesn't matter, it can be anything, but the ID has to be exactly the same as we have there. So, yep, that's it. So this is how this form will capture that information. You can show it to the person or not. But the most important thing is that you capture it. If you want to show it, you can add maybe a content field, and say, use answer piping, right? Say, hey, name, happy to have you here, right? And let's view the form. So this is the second form, so I will start from the first form. Let's view it. Submit the form again. And voila. So here I have the name Noosh, and here is my name, right? Here's the custom text that I added here. Hey Noosh, happy to have you here, and maybe it invites me to submit the form or etc. You can also move it to the top of the page to capture it. But the important thing here is that you have to first capture the information using a hidden field, right? And then show it. So in order to always the content field should be after the hidden field. So here I have my name and email, which are hidden, and they capture the information. And this is my content field. So this way, my welcome message will be at the top of the form, and it's under the hidden field. So first, the hidden field captures the information from the URL, and here I show it in the content. So yeah, that's it about sending data from one form to another form, or what we call it as interform data transfer. I also want to show you a little about logic. I know we're short on time, but I think it's good to explore everything in this webinar. So I want to show you how it works in logic. And I'm going to show it perfectly. I think everything she explained, if you haven't checked it out, if you just joined, make sure to check it because it's a perfect explanation of how logic works. But I want to show you the logic map as well. So the logic map is where you picture everything in your form and how the logic is working. Right now, I don't have any logic, right? So all questions come one after another, and then I submit, and it shows the ending page. But you can do more. You can, for example, let's say, add a logic on this question. So let me show you an example. So I have the NPS score, and let's say I don't want to show a general message here. Maybe you want to show two messages. One for it says, thank you, we're happy that you're satisfied, maybe for 7+ score, and one message for 7- score. So you can do that too. So you click on the question you want to add logic to, go to the logic map, or add it right here, or go to advanced logic. Advanced logic shows everything in a row, and logic map also shows everything one after another. But if you click this question, you can say, add a rule. If logic is greater than or equal to 7, then you can jump to, let's say, I don't want to show this y, right? Let's say if it's more than plus, I want to jump to what was the most impactful. So it jumps this question and jumps to the next one, right? By default, it shows this question because it comes right after the NPS question. Let me show you in the map to see how it works. So here on the NPS score, I will add a new rule. If logic, if no, on the is. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you suggesting? So if it's greater than or equal to 7, then we want to jump to which of our services exceeded. So which of our services exceeded. And what it does is it adds, if you check it here, if the question is bigger than, if the question, actually I added on the wrong, so sorry. So if it's bigger than 7, I want to jump to what was the most. So if you see here, in one condition, it jumps to what was the most impactful aspect, and in another condition, if it's less than 7, it asks why, what influenced your score of, for example, 5. 5 is less than 7, so why did you select that, right? So you can use logic jumps to make it work. Logic jumps work on multi-step forms because multi-step forms show questions one by one. It's the one question at a time form of forms. If you use the classic form shows all questions at the same time. This is a multi-step form, one question at a time form, which shows questions one by one. So logic jump makes sense here. But in a single step form like this contact us form, we have all questions at the same page. So it doesn't make sense to jump from one question to another page, right? To another question, right? So in this case, the logic, if your form is classic, in the design tab, you can check it out. If it's classic, the logic changes to show hide. So instead of jump, you have show hide. So here you can show a question or hide it because it makes more sense for this type of form. The next thing I want to show you is the hidden fields. So I showed you actually the hidden fields. You can capture the person's name and the company. And actually the next one is the form ending. So you can automate your forms by showing a personalized message to your audience. This is a good message. It's personalized. It answers and addresses the feedback that the user has given, but you can make it even more personalized. How is that? Let me show you. So let's delete this from our ending page. You can name your ending page to find it if you have multiple ending pages. Makes it easier to find them, change the title. But here you can add an AI, custom AI builder. And here you can add your AI prompt. Let's say this is my prompt. I've prepared it before, so let me copy it and see if I can paste it here. Actually, I cannot paste anything. Let me add another one. Maybe. Yeah, so let's say this is my AR prompt, and it says, I want you to write a personalized thank you message for the ending page of our feedback survey based on the following survey responses from name, which is the name of the person. We have captured it here in this hidden field. And based on the responses of the name, net promoter score was this NPS, which is the ID of the NPS field. And I'm asking a few questions, like these are the responses. Then based on this, I want you to generate a personalized thank you message for the ending page of our feedback survey. And I provide every detail the AI needs to generate this personalized thank you message. You can read more about how to write really good messages in your AI prompt in our help desk. We will leave it in the chat so you can read it more. But so here I have written a very personalized AI prompt, so the AI has all the information it needs to generate this success page, and then you can just submit it and see the results. Actually, I don't know why I can't use this landing page, but ending page. But yeah, so you get the idea, right? So when you submit the form, the user sees the right here we go. So I write my custom AI, copy this, and paste it here. Perfect. So let's do the next ending page. And this is my ending page. So now let's view the form. And actually, I have to make sure that the IDs exist on the fields. So the YNPS ID is for what factors influenced. And so I set the ID here. The next ID that I have written in my AI prompt is the impact. So I will change the ID of the impact question here. And next I have like what exceeded in our services, exceeded your expectation. So I'll add that here. And what change would you make? So this is the change ID. Then I have the influence question, which is how our marketing strategy influenced you. So it's the influence one. So this is how we give AI whatever it needs to generate and do its job. And when you are done with all of the custom messages, let's refresh the form and start answering. So I want to start and write the same things I have written in my other response because it makes it easier for me to just, so I will respond them like this, and you get the idea. So I just want to show you how the ending page works and generates a personalized message for the user. So let's submit the form and wait for the AI to generate this. But while this is happening, I also want to show you another feature, another great feature on Formaloo. So let's edit this app. I want to add a new page to the app and call it Analyze. Here I will add a new block, the Analyze block. This is a block that analyzes the data of forms. And here you can select the base or the form you want to analyze. So I select the exact same feedback form. And here you can ask your questions. Let's say the AI model is Formaloo AI. And here you can ask the questions you want to ask AI to give you an answer to. So let's say the question is identify top 3 strengths of our agency as perceived by clients. And when you click generate, it will start generating the response to this question based on the information in this data source. So you can import your data source and analyze it whenever you want and like that. But when it generates, it will be saved on your page and you don't need to generate it every time. So it will be visible every time, always, and you can reference to it. Getting back to the AI generator, here you see the you see the message, personalized message that is visible to the user and is personalized and gives information about this. So yeah, so this AI prompt is generating responses to my question to give me the strengths of my agency. But while it's working, I want to show you another very cool feature that helps you streamline your workflows. So you can create contract forms. You know that you can add a signature field for people to sign it. And another thing that is really awesome on Formaloo is you can export the data and and for example, let's say you want to export it as a PDF, right? You click the row and generate the PDF. It will generate a PDF of your contract, and you can download it. And here you go. So here you have the agreement with the signature and everything. You can print it and have the users sign it, or if you have signed it already, just send it to the user. But another cool feature is that you can send it via email. So to send the contract via email, you can edit your form, your base, doesn't matter. Here you can edit base, and from the notification settings, you can enable the send email to respondents. So this feature, when you enable this, it will send the email to the person who has submitted the form, and always the first field, the first email field will be the respondent. So here you have the option to generate a PDF of submission. So it generates the PDF and emails it to the user. Here you can select the custom template for the user. Let's say I have created a custom template, and here I can choose it. I will show you how custom templates work, and you can also send email notifications to the team members and yourself. So you can select the email address, your email address, your team email address, and what email template you want to send. If you don't select anything, if you choose the default template, it sends the default template, which is an overview of the form submission, the submitted data. So let's go over the conditional emails. All right, so yeah, I forgot about the AI. This is the generated AI. So it says based on the provided data, here are the key insights, and top three strengths are development, creative, and data-driven marketing strategies. So you see, this is an analyze of my data, and it gives an overview and answers your questions. What is the top three strengths? And you can change its name, like top three strengths to focus on, right? So this way you can analyze your data and find the hidden patterns in your data. And next is the next thing I want to show you is the conditional emails. I believe it's the last one. It's the last item I want to show you. So guys, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. We'd love to answer those. But let's go over the conditional emails. So yes, you've seen this. It's an option to send email to the respondents. If you don't have any email address, email question on the form, it won't show this. So you need to have a field type with a type of email on the form to have to be able to enable that. What's right? So you can make it required or not, but the most important thing is that now that we have an email field on our form, we can enable the send email. So Formaloo has the email address of the person, so it can send a copy to the respondent. And let's make it conditional. So here I click on this question, and I want to add a logic on it. So when the user gets to this question, a logic happens. Let's get to the advanced logic. And for conditional email, you need to add it to this last option, which is on submitting the form. And I showed it to you for comparing two variables and stuff. But for conditional emails, we say if your email address is answered, then send email using you can select the email here. So using this email address, right? So I have created 2 email templates. I want to show you how you can create custom emails as well. So if you go to the App Store from your profile icon and get to the custom emails, you can create a new email template. This is the default email template. You can delete it and customize it however you want. For example, I want to mention the person's name here. So to mention that, to capture the data of a field, you need to write field underline one, for example, value. So one is the first, shows gets the value of the first field. If you write it two, will capture the value of the second field, and as we go on, so on and so forth. So this is how you can capture the value of a specific field. The number of you will write the number of the field, and it will replace it with that value. So yep, you can write anything here. You can add pictures, you can add any text, you can change the alignment, color, and everything, and change the subject here and the from name and etc. So I have created 2 email templates to show you for this survey. The survey, if you remember, it has an NPS score. So I want to send one email if the feedback score is 7 minus, under 7. And if the feedback score is more than 7, I want to send a different email. As an example, if it's under 7, like this is the name of the person, the seventh field, and it's like asking for them if you're up to a meeting. We're open for it, and we'd love to help you achieve your goals. And if it's more than 7, I want to send a different email that includes different information, says we're happy, and again, it invites them to a meeting, but in different tone and a different format. Getting back to our logic, now that we have 2 email templates, I want to say if the NPS score is greater than or equal to 7, then I want to send the 7 plus feedback score, and this is the title of the email template, right? The people won't see it. It's just the template name, so we can find it in Logic. So you can change it however you want. So in this case, I want to send an email using this feedback score, and to the email address, which is what's your email address, to this address. So when the user fills out this question, they will receive it here. So I will add another rule for 7 minus. So if the score is less than 7, not equal to, or we can say less than or equal to 6, right? We want to send email using this email template and to this email address. As you see here, and we save it, and whenever you submit the form, you will receive an email based on this logic. I hope it was helpful. I think we covered a lot in this session, and we covered like different scenarios, different use cases for URL parameters, for how you can send data to another URL, how you can use logic in different situations. We covered hidden field, how you can use AI for analyzing data, for showing personalized messages, and like for AI, the sky is the limit. So it will be like you can be as creative as you want with that. And we also covered the email notifications and the conditional emails. So I'd love to answer questions at this point. Let's have Anana with us. Anana, do we have anything to cover? Any questions?
There is one question which came up when you were demonstrating how to send data between two forms, and I think it's going to be good to clarify. The question is a form inside other form from JCall. Is it possible?
Yeah, so it's not a form inside another form, it's a form sending data to another form. So I think it was at the part that you were sharing the tab, but I believe your question is answered. You can send one form data to another form and easily send the data and capture it on the other page and use it and have it submitted. You can redirect it to your website, your personal website, your business website, and but in that case you need development to capture it. But if you use Formula on the second page and the redirect page, you can easily use it and capture it with a field with the same ID.
Mhm. I'd like to add, because this comment was written when you were demonstrating two forms in the dashboard, I would just like to clarify that is the dashboard, and you can indeed have many different forms, but it is going to be within the dashboard, within the app. So it's not like inside the form, but it's inside the dashboard.
Exactly. So you can create as many forms and bases as you want on the same app. So it doesn't matter. For example, here I have the same. This is my dashboard, right? This is my project. I have a survey here. I have my responses here. I have my charts here. But on the same page, you can add another data block. For example, I want to add an analyze block here and show the data of analyzed stuff. Or I want to add a table block here, or a Kanban one, or whatever data block. And you can choose any base here. So you can have the data of multiple bases, multiple forms on the same page, and show them on the same page. Or you can make it on separate pages. It's based on your use case. Maybe for one page of the dashboard, you want to show multiple bases and like be creative, guys. So you can do anything you want. And like this is a form page, but yeah, you can create another form on the same page and show it here. Or let's say you don't want to show the form. This is the form page, but you don't want to show the form to people here. You can delete it and just click view to get the URL of the form and share the form with people. This dashboard is only visible to you. You can share it with public by getting to the settings and making the dashboard public. But if you don't make it public, this URL is only available to you and your team members who have access to this dashboard. So this dashboard is for you, and you can do anything you want here. The form is public if you share it with people.
Mhm. Thank you. We have another amazing question from the same user. As you know, we have recently announced different languages, and this user is wondering if the Portuguese language is on the roadmap.
Yes, actually, we have got some requests for the Portuguese and Spanish, I believe. And yeah, definitely, we will add those as well. So if you think it needs to be prioritized, definitely go on and vote on it on the roadmap.
Mhm. We have a question from Tim Martin, and the question is, where is the best place to ask support questions about Formaloo?
So it's on the website. Our team tries to answer all of the questions really fast as we can. And yeah, so go to the formal.com website and open the chat box and start chatting with our team. Also, you can. I know, Tim. You're in our community, so if you ask your question in the community is there to help you and there to help you and answer your questions. But if you need a specific answer on a specific form, we highly recommend you share it with us on the website chat. So and send us the URL so we can check it for you.
Tim is also asking, when is Formaloo 3.0 finished beta? I
It's
think when,
finished.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so you can use it and explore all of the features, all of the new functionalities on the Formaloo 3.0. And yeah, it's out of beta, so you can use it.
Mhm. These are all the questions that we have so far from the chat.
So I see a lot of you have written your use cases on the registration form for this webinar. I believe we've covered a lot of them. You've asked about multi-level CRM automation. We will have a dedicated webinar for CRMs, and we will discuss how you can automate your CRM and make it work for your use cases. Also about integrations, we will have another webinar for integrations, how integrations work, how you can automate them. And the good news is we're adding so many more integrations in the coming weeks, like a lot of integrations. And I'm so excited for that webinar because we will have the webinar after the feature is released. And yeah, we will have a lot of um, integrations in the product, and we will have a webinar for that.
Mhm. Nush, we got a new question from Rory. Do you have an approval flow?
Yes. So for the approval for actually, it's a very good question, and I believe we can have a separate webinar for approvals and how you can manage the whole approval flow in your system. For approvals, there are different situations, right? So you might have the whole process online. So you can send an email to the user. We showed you how notification emails work, right? So you can send custom emails based on the user's responses, send the PDF and have them sign it automatically. And they will respond to your email with the signed PDF. Another case is to send the form to another person to sign it, and then another management role in the company signs it again. So in these cases, also you can, whenever someone signs the form, you can send an email and have them responded. So if you haven't checked the custom emails and logical emails, please check them out. They can help you a lot. And we discovered that in this webinar. So you can watch the video again and see how they work. But we will definitely have a dedicated webinar only for approval flow.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm checking the rest of the use cases that you guys have submitted on the registration form. Best practices for data blocks. So if you haven't watched our previous webinars, check them out. We explored all of the data blocks, how you can use them. I highly suggest you explore them and see how they work, because you can be so creative with them, and you can mix and match different blocks from different bases, and build a dashboard to have a complete reporting system for you, for your team members, and your managers and your clients. Awesome. I see Tim is saying these kinds of webinars are helpful. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, we will have these webinars every Wednesday, and you can check them out on our YouTube or LinkedIn. And if you register a form, you will give us an idea of what you want to have in these webinars, and also we will send you all of the information you need. So I have sent the link to registration. If you want to receive an email after this webinar, please submit the registration form. If you have submitted the registration form, you will receive an email with all of the assets we have shared in this webinar, with all of the help documents, the videos, and also a video to this webinar. Great. So it was a webinar full of information, and I really enjoyed it. Hope you all enjoyed it too. And yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Anana, for the great insights. And would love to hear from you guys. What was your feedback? And let us know in the support chat, in the uh, email, and keep in touch.
Yeah.
Have a
Thank you
great
so
day.
much for watching. Thank you for amazing feedback and great questions. We're waiting for you on the support chat, and we're super happy to help you with any inquiries that you might have. And thank you, Noosh, for this opportunity. And yes, hopefully we'll see you next time with the next webinar.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye bye.
Happy formaling.
Happy Formally. Mhm.